Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live chat. I'm so excited to have join us for what promises to be an inspiring and insightful conversation. Our guest today is Preyalan Pillay, Chairman of the broader Hindu Community Network, NPO, and entrepreneur at One for All Financial Consultants. Preyalan is a dedicated leader who has been working to empower the Hindu community in South Africa while also helping individuals strengthen their his journey as a community leader, financial wisdom from his entrepreneurial experience. So get ready for some powerful insights. Welcome, Preyalan. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity today. And yeah, let's see how it goes. And I'll do my best for you guys. So, as I mentioned before, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not used to this, but I'll give it my best.
Sure, no problem. All right. My opening question to you is, Preyalan, could you tell us a bit about yourself and your life? What inspired you to get involved in the work you're doing, especially your humanitarian work, and what keeps you motivated in your journey?
Okay. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a tricky one, but I'm going to go back in time and give you a little bit about my younger years up until my teens, and yeah, until where I am today. So if I can put it simply, not everybody is born lucky, right?
Mm.
You get some that are born lucky. Maybe it's due to the, I believe, maybe the past life merits, but in my journey, I believe that, my personal belief is that everybody's on their journey, and it's a karmic journey. So whatever I experienced in life, it's purely because of my karma, whether good or bad. So starting off from a young kid, both my parents were previously married. Okay. um, my mom was a beautiful woman. She got married young. Unfortunately, her marriage never worked, but there was one child there. And years later, my mother never wanted to get married again, even though she had so many opportunities. She never wanted to settle again. And years later, much, 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 much later on in life, she was offered another opportunity. This time, not to a very, very rich man. So her first marriage was to like a very super rich guy, and this time it wasn't. It was not even. It was. I can't say poor, but just a normal, average Joe on the road, And that was my dad, also from
Okay.
Johannesburg. He was also previously married, and after some negotiating, the good old days, Indians who negotiate, the big people talk and whatever. And my mom said, ah, okay, I'll give in to it. At that time, she had my brother from the first marriage, and he was quite, I think he must have been about 8 or 9 years old at the time. And she said, okay, I'll give in to this. Let me settle down with this man. That's my dad. And I just think my mom's journey was a tough one. She was unlucky in her marriage. The marriage never lasted, not even 3 years. My dad was an alcoholic. He was abusive. The one day I was age 3, I was in the bathtub, and I think my dad forgot about me there. And luckily, we had a helper, and I actually took one of my big teddy bears, and I went and I put it in the water with me. It got heavy, and it pushed me to the bottom. And our helper then came and saved me. Thank God she was there. And my grandfather, who's my everything, who was and still is my everything, he got to know about this the evening. He came home to where my mom and dad were staying, and he said, "Listen, you guys sort your marriage out, but this child almost died today. I'm taking him home with me, and that's that. You decide. I can't tell you, both of you or my daughter, what to do, but I'm taking this child home with me where it'll be safer." And I lived with my granddad. That's my mother's father. I lived with him since that day, since the age of 3. He passed away now 14 years ago. So I am where I am in life because of my grandfather. So, anyways, 3 weeks later, my mom left my dad. She came back home, and my dad and my mom and I, with my granddad, we lived together with my brother, from the first marriage, and I lived with my granddad ever since with my mother. But life was really tough with a young woman coming back, basically now with both her kids, coming back home to live with her father. We started having family politics that never ended, because now it's like, okay, is my mom, will my mom inherit the family home? Will her children inherit the family home? And it was endless issues. It was so difficult. My mom used to cry all the time. We always had family, so it wasn't easy for us. It wasn't easy for myself. It wasn't easy for my mom. But my granddad stood with us. He gave up his own family for my mom and I. He sacrificed his family to take care of us, because at that age, no one understood. But your daughter's your daughter. You'll take your daughter in a million times. A son, a man will always fend for himself, and that's what people don't understand. And in our family, they never understood that he took his daughter back in. Where was he? Where was she supposed to go? Would she have been in the street? Would you allow your child to be in the street? So my granddad took us. He looked after us. He schooled me. He bought my school clothing. He sent me on excursions. He paid for everything. And I owe my entire life to my granddad. And then a few years later, even though no matter my father was an alcoholic, but what I admired him for is that every single day would visit me without fail. He was a poor man, but he never failed to forget. He always came, he always visited me. So when I was at age 10, uh, this particular day, I was to receive an award at school for art. And the same day, we got a call in the morning while I was getting ready, and my helper was getting me, making sure I look good, because we were going to take photos. I was getting an award at school, and my dad passed away. The call came through. My dad passed away. So that was obviously due to a lot of drinking and smoking. And he died, I think he was about 40 years old. So I was 10 years
Oh,
old. And then look, life was difficult, but because of my grandfather being there and my mom, I was strong. I still carried on, even though I had no father figure, but my grandfather was my father. In fact, I called him dad. And we carried on. And 2 years later, the worst thing in my life could ever happen. And that's when the biggest change in my life happened. My mom got ill. She had a thyroid condition. She got ill. It was a long weekend. It was Women's Day. It was a long weekend, and she got severely ill. She also was around about 40 at the time. She landed up in hospital, and I just had this feeling that, you know what, it's something simple. She'll come home. She'll be back soon. Never happened. Few days later, we got a call like 10 past 6 in the morning. The hospital phoned and said, "Look, she's taken a bad turn. She's passed away." My life shattered. I lost, like, I had no body. Um, what was I supposed to do? Who look after me? And even though my granddad's there and I have a roof over my head, but he's also got his other kids and he's also got grandkids.
mm,
So, like, I felt all alone. So even though there was another son, but we were never close. Especially after my mom died, he not even a year or so later, he left. He went to KZN. He carried on with his life, and I've never heard from him ever again. And that's how life actually went. And my granddad and I lived together. He sacrificed his life for me, because now my mom passed away. And so many of our family members never wanted me there. They wanted me at one stage. They wanted to put me in a reformatory. They wanted to put me in a boarding school. They threatened me. I had endless conflicts. I felt so many times I tried to even take my own life because of what I was going through. It was
wow.
always a competition, that I had I never had the best of clothes. I never had the best. And my cousins had the best of everything because they had both their parents. They were working. With me, it was just, it was tough, really tough. And I think that's all what made me a strong person today. And yeah, that's the gist of it. But I carried on. We struggled. I started becoming streetwise. I started making money for myself. I helped my granddad wherever I could. After my mom died, I learned about Seva. I started doing Seva since the age of 13, handing out hampers on a Thursday, every single Thursday, because I'm a Sai devotee. So I chose a Thursday to do it. So I became a Sai devotee following Sri Satya Sai Baba at the age of, yeah, around about 12. My one aunt did live behind us. She was a great devotee, and I learned about Sai there. And I chose a Thursday to do this is a loaf of bread, maybe a can of baked beans or a liter of milk, but every Thursday, without fail, between my grandfather and I, would give, we at that time we used to give three families. So that started every single Thursday. And as time went, we started supporting centers like the old age centers where we'd cook once a month or every second month. And it just started growing, from there. And yeah, and later on in life, I carried on. I built myself. I never relied on anybody. I educated myself. Everything I did on my own, with my grandfather's blessings, obviously, and help. I did everything on my own. And yeah, I had a major car accident at age 23. I went completely down to
Wow.
zero in life. I lost everything, everything. I was out 2 years. I I just I lost my business. I had my own business. I couldn't work for a boss. So I lost my business. I couldn't walk for like a year or so. My granddad was my support structure. And just when I started healing, getting back on my feet, how to relaunch my business, and that's when my grandfather passed away. So it's been a tough journey for me with losing my parents, um, losing my granddad, being alone. I know what alone means. I've been alone by myself, you know. I learned to cook, I learned to do everything on my own. Um, yeah, it's just been so difficult, but that's what made me who I am. That's what made me strong. That's what made me the businessman that I am. Um, Doing humanitarian work. That's what keeps me going. That's my drive. That's my passion. Also, I like to add that even though I never got married. I'm going to be turning 40 years old in a few months' time, purely because it just wasn't my luck to get married. Maybe I would, but yeah, I've had some ups and downs in relationships. The last person I had, the mother actually told me to my face, "You have no parents. You want to marry my daughter? You got no parents. You're not a millionaire. You don't have millions in your banking account." But I said, I grew from zero. Everything I have, everything I bought, my own home, my own car, everything was on with my own money. I worked hard for it. So don't you appreciate that at least? I feed people, I feed hungry mouths, I feed animals, I help wherever I can. Don't you appreciate a man like that? She said, no, we want money, we want wealth. My daughter should be with wealth. And yeah, and that actually tore me apart because it was around the time my granddad passed away. And I had a double blow. I was in love. I had an amazing person by my side that really helped me and pushed me as well to go further and just snatched away from me. And yeah, well, the mother got away and married off, and so I haven't been lucky in love, but generally in life it's just been tough. But yeah, my granddad made me who I am. He taught me to be strong, gave me good values and morals, and be good and do good. And yeah, I am where I am today.
Wow. All right. What inspired you to take on the role of chairman at the broader Hindu Community Network NPO? And what vision do you have for its future?
So the broader he BHCN. So yeah, going back again, Seva was a big thing in my journey from a young age. But I always wanted to do more, and I wanted to grow and be able to feed more. So in the year 2018, that's when the BHCN was formed, with the hope of helping our community, not only within our own but on a broader scale, be it everywhere, whether it's in KZN, whether it's in Cape Town. That's our vision. And yeah, we started the BHCN, Broader Hindu Community Network. We started it out as a business network, doing humanitarian work, such as cooking almost every Saturday without fail, feeding approximately between 5 to sometimes 800 people on a Saturday. We give out hampers, food hampers. We do at the moment as well. We just done, or still currently going on with a sanitary pad drive. Just
Wow.
yesterday, we gave out baby diapers. So yeah, this whole organization started in 2018 with the hope of helping not only humans but also our furry little ones, our animals, dogs, cats, monkeys. Yeah, I've adopted two monkeys of my own, actual monkeys that I take care of. Uh, they are my everything. I am the person I am as well because of them. It gives me so much of responsibility. So yeah, that's where the journey started with the BHCN, with the hope and yeah, we want to grow. We really, really, we do a lot of, we're small, we're really small, but we do a lot of big work. So like even yesterday, for example, when we delivered the baby diapers to TLC home in Aikenhof, we were shocked. Like, I mean, there's so much. We gave every child a sweet pack. We gave sanitary pads for the teenagers. We gave so much of diapers. It's like, it cost thousands upon thousands. How did we do it? It's just amazing that we have a good network of people coming together and just supporting us. And we do big things, even though we're a small organization. We do big things, but our vision is that we hope that we would grow and we'd be able to do more, on a bigger scale.
How does the organization balance preserving cultural traditions with engaging younger generations in today's fast-paced world?
So yeah, that's a bit of a tough one, in terms of like community empowerment. We live in, I don't know, this is my own personal belief. We live in such a, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I feel that we live in such a divided country at the moment,
Mm.
and such a, um, it's so difficult to actually try and preserve our culture, and our people don't even have opportunities, and we deal with this on an ongoing basis, weekend in, weekend out. We see people struggling, and how do we empower them? How do we handle so much of them struggling, and they without jobs, they can't get jobs because of where we are in the country. We're not the right color, we have to follow BEE, and it's so difficult. But yeah, we try our best. We try to empower them, especially the youth. We try preserving our cultures, and but especially within our Hindu community, we find that we don't even have, look, maybe in KZN, yes, but like where the community I come from, like Johannesburg, we don't even have our own, like a children's home, our own, a children's home. We don't have a frail care center. We don't have an elderly center for the old age, our own personal, so many times we dealt with families that had nowhere to go. They were living in the park. We had no center to put them. So that's kind of something that we want to look into the future. Obviously, depending on funds and all of that, we would be able to help and get that all going. So yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges the Hindu community faces in South Africa, and how is your NPO addressing them?
So, like, yeah, again, as above, like I said, we as our Hindu community, our Indian community on the whole, like I said, we're subject to these BE rules, and jobs are scarce for us. I mean, we know I personally know qualified people that got their BComs and their CAs. I even know of one chap that actually got his commercial license as a pilot, sitting at home, and they have to apply for jobs out of South Africa. So these are the challenges that we face. Is that I believe we're not the right color, so we can't get into these top positions. But the same thing about living here is, and I love South Africa as our home. But the
Mm.
same thing is that the majority they don't know the history of Indians in this country and what we went through when they came in as early as 1860, what they had to go through. I mean, we lost our roots. We lost everything. We don't even know our fam. Some of us are not gifted to know which villages we came from. They went through total hardships and what they had to endure with the British. And we're supposed to be so advanced, so far off in today in this country, yet we are in. Not all of us are lucky, but so many of us, majority of us, are backwards. If you look at other countries where indentured, where the old indentured laborers, if you look at even Guyana, and you look at even Canada, wherever they settle in Canada, all over the world, they're doing so well. It's just here where we are subject to all these BEE laws and all these, we last on the list for everything. We're just the butter filling in the sandwich. So I really feel our people, sorry, I see it with my own eyes, week in, week out, of what our people are going through, even qualified people. So those are our challenges, but we're trying to address it. We're trying to help. I try my best. We've got a good network of people that try and place our people in work. Wherever we can help, we help. But it's never enough. I'm being honest, it's never enough. We're just always out of resources. But those are, we also have to give due to some of our people that really did do well. I mean, they seized the opportunities and they ran with it and they built lives for themselves, and malls, shopping centers, and so many of our people have done really well. So we give due to them as well.
Wow. All right. Can you share a success story from the NPO that has had a meaningful impact on the community?
Sorry, could you just repeat that again?
Sure. Can you share a successful story from the NPO that has had a meaningful impact on the community?
Okay, so there's quite a few stories that I could actually share with you. But okay, so I'm an animal person. I love animals, right? I just, when I see what animals go through, it breaks my heart. I can't manage it, right? But one story that I can tell you, and I'll just tell you a few stories around that story, right? So we adopted a horse, right?
Okay.
And with its adopted son. Okay, so it was the mother horse with the adopted son. So the story around this is that there was this man that sold his property, and he sold all these animals, he sold the land, he sold everything, and he just disappeared. And these last two horses, the mother horse and the adopted son, they nobody bought them, so they were still on the farm, and he had to now give up the farm and move on. And he opened the gate and he let them out, and they were walking the streets. And these guys got a hold of these two horses, and they put this, these you get these guys that collect scrap metal and scrap things or whatever on the roadside using the horse and cart. So they got a hold of this horse, and the baby, they couldn't do anything with the adopted son, so they used the mother, and they made this makeshift steel structure to fit onto a body to pick up metal and all of that. And they didn't make it right, taking her body and all of that into consideration. And the steel was lodging into her body, or as they were riding her, was lodging into her body. And she eventually couldn't walk anymore and she was injured. So they just dumped them in one corner and just left them there. And she had this wound that was starting to rot. And they had no food, they had no water. If I show you pictures, you'll be shocked. You could see their ribs, like really, you could hold their ribs. and somebody reported them to the SPCA, and they managed to rescue this mother horse and adopted son. And yeah, they nursed her back to health, but she was afraid of humans, both of them actually. And yeah, and they were up for adoption, and nobody wanted to adopt them. And eventually, they were going to put them down because there was, due to space and all of that. And yeah, we adopted them, and today they live in their life. They retired basically. They run wild. They have a river where they can drink water. They have thousands of kilometers of land they can run on. So they live in the life. So that's one of our success stories. We've also adopted SPCA's mascot, the mother cow. Her name is Milky. She's also living a life. We adopted her as well with her adopted son, who runs amok. They had to give him up, or they were going to put him down because he used to break the structures and everything at the SPC. He was just like this mean guy, and apparently he was abused growing up, and he was kicked and hurt and hit. So he hated humans and he hated being in confined spaces. And we took him. He's living the life as well. He leads the pack on the farm. And also last year sometime, we had this cow and its calf that were thrown on the M1 highway, just thrown off the bakkie, and in peak traffic. And we rescued the mother cow with the calf. They live in their
Wow.
life on the farm as well. And yeah, quite a lot of, I mean, we've helped to rehome people. Those are some of our success stories. We've put food in people's homes. I can't tell you of each story for us. Each time we did something, I feel that's a success story, because even
Oh,
like a few weeks ago, we went to someone just out of nowhere. We appeared and here's a parcel for you. And the woman said, "Just come with me inside. I just want to show you something." And she said, "You are a real gift," because after her husband passed away, they basically, I mean, he was the breadwinner. They had nothing, and they were suffering. She was a housewife, and they got two kids. And she says, "Just come with me." And I walked in. I went into the kitchen, and she says, she opened the cupboards, and she says, "Look, I have nothing. You came on this day when our last bread, whatever we had was the last, and you came, and now we're able to carry on for another 2 weeks. Thank you so much, and God bless you." And that's all we ever want, is the blessings. We don't want anything in return. We don't preach, we don't pray, we don't, when we just go, we give. Sometime, most of the time, they don't even know, "Oh, BHCN was here," or BHCN that did this or did that. We're not about name, we're not about fame, we're not about image. We're just there to help and do what we can in the name of God. That's all.
wow. All right, let's get to the business and entrepreneurship. As an entrepreneur at One for All Financial Consultants, what motivated you to start your journey in financial consulting?
So the financial consulting part of it came in later. My dream, my passion, and I know some people say, "Oh, look at this guy." So how my whole journey started. So I was passionate. I still am, but I've hung up the towel on my passion for now. But my passion's always been the funeral undertaking business. I
Oh,
loved it with all my heart, all my soul. It's a passion. I worked in the industry for a while. I've got relatives of mine that are in the industry, and that's how it started. It started in, like, I think 2004, and I was given the advice. Okay, look, listen. If you want to go into funeral undertaking, if you want to have a branch, you need to have a book. You need to have a strong insurance book, because that's what pays the bills. You need to have lots of insurance policies, because if you don't get a funeral in a month, how do you pay your staff? And I started the book, an insurance book selling funeral policies, from about 2004, 2005. And at the same time, I also had a furniture factory. I was manufacturing lounge suites. I was still young at the time. I mean, I had staff of 21, and then I built a business by myself. That's just before the car accident. The car accident changed my life completely. I lost everything, even my last rand in my pocket. I lost every. If it was not for my granddad, I would have basically been on the side of the road. And yeah, and that's basically where it started. And the businesses took a shift a few years later, actually after the accident. So I would say around about 2009 or 2010, the whole business took a shift. I just started getting requests from other funeral parlors and churches and societies. Oh, we want to do underwriting. Can you help us? So I wasn't doing underwriting. I wasn't selling funeral insurance. I was doing the same thing you guys are doing. But then I looked at it as an opportunity. Hey, I can grow faster, so let me take this business on. So I took the business on, and I got them underwritten, and I earned commission on it, and I built in more because we're doing such a good job of it. More funeral parlors and more churches and more societies that started coming. So the whole business took an entire youth, and from a building a book that would cater to the community and that would actually get my funeral business going, turned around completely and actually became a financial consulting company that now does a range of products, so from your wills and estates to your medical aids and everything that goes with it.
Wow. What advice would you give to individuals or families looking to improve their financial literacy and long-term security?
So the biggest thing I can tell people out there is save, save, save. You don't know when you would need that fund. Just save. I like to just touch a little bit on life today, right? Many people, and I'm sorry to say this, many people um, live their life according to image. Today,
Mm,
life is about, the brand of, what brand shirt are you wearing? What car you drive? Oh, why you driving this car? Which area do you live in? Why you live in there? Oh, you live in Sandton. Oh, you're a big deal. People compete with each other, families compete with each other, friends compete. Oh, he bought a BM, we need to buy a bigger BM. Oh,
yeah,
they bought a Mercedes, you need to have a bigger Mercedes. Stop living your life you know, because of image. If you drive a little Suzuki, so be it. That's what you can afford. It takes you from A to B. If you live in a small little two-bedroom apartment, that's what you can afford. When your time comes for you to have a four-bedroom or five-bedroom, each and every person's journey is different. So stop living your life according to image. I need to have the best brand of clothes. I need to have, sometimes people spend so much of money on, and I see this, I experience this because we do financial wellness for people and do planning. And I see this all the time. Like, I mean, even one of my other clients now, he earns a fantastic salary. But if he comes out with 2,000 Rand a month from his fantastic salary, it's actually too much because he's got 3-4 vehicles that he's paying for. He drives a different vehicle every week. Out of the 4 vehicles, he put himself in debt. He went and bought a 3.5 million Rand house. He tries, they're a group of friends, so they try competing, like, oh no, we're going to Sun City, we're going to Durban, we're going to Cape Town. And at the end of the day, they're struggling, financially, but they're trying to keep the image up of, we need to be up there, we need to be like everybody else. If people can't accept you for who you are, you shouldn't even be with those people.
that's true.
So I would say save, save, save. If you're renting, if you pay your rent, if you bought a small place, it's fine, but you'll get there. Just be content with a roof over your head and a meal that you can eat. Save, build yourself up, ensure that financially you're secure. Get rid of your debt. If you have a bond, try and, instead of paying it over 20 years, try and pay even 1,000 Rand extra. Bring that bond down. Don't worry about the BMWs and the Mercedes Benz. It will come in at a later stage. If you have a simple car, you're paying 2 or 3,000 rands a month. Pay a little bit extra, but don't try and not take a car like even at 72 months. Try and take it over 36 months. And if you can't afford it, then don't get it. Get something smaller. You know. Most importantly, if you own property, please, please, and there's a thing with our Indian community is they refer to it as bad luck. Having a funeral policy is bad luck. Having a will is bad luck. But when life happens, I see it. I'm dealing with 2-3 cases at the moment. When life happens, oh, he never had a will, or he passed away in interstate. Do you know the government has more right when there's no will than you as the family? Do you want to put your children to that? Do you want to put your family through all of this? A simple will. Put that will in place. have that in place, and you know your life is, your family is secured, everyone is secured, whoever your beneficiaries are, they will, everything will happen the way you wanted it to happen. So have a will in place, have adequate cover in place, secure your life, secure your family, and that's my advice. Oh, most
How do you?
importantly, sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
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 that's
most
okay.
importantly,
That's fine.
uh, please, I appeal to everybody, especially if you're young, you enter in the work world. Make sure you'll never regret it. Make sure you have retirement annuity. Yes, you work, you get a pension. It's never enough. If you want to live comfortably, please put a retirement annuity. It will help you with your taxes as well every year. Please make sure you have a retirement annuity in place.
All right. What advice would you give? Oh no, sorry. I meant to ask you, how do your experiences in community leadership influence the way you approach entrepreneurship and business ethics?
Just say that question again. Sorry.
Sure. How do your experiences in community leadership influence the way you approach entrepreneurship and business ethics?
Okay. So you know what? It's so difficult to actually balance, entrepreneurship and doing good service. It's sometimes I
Mm,
just feel time escapes me, you know, and I try my best to balance. Sometimes I actually feel that I work like almost 7 days a week. I just don't get enough time to myself. I'm already, I mean, even today, somebody called me and we're supposed to meet and says, I have to just wait for you. Whenever you're ready, you let me know because, you always busy. You always, it's this, it's that. I mean, I work Monday to Friday and then Saturday up again early. It's our feeding scheme, and that takes the whole day. Sometimes on a Sunday there's meetings, or we meet to discuss, okay, what we're doing, what's happening, what's on our program. So yeah, time does escape. We try to balance things out, but a lot of people say, how do you do it? Or we don't have time for it, and we've got families and we've got work, and you know what? When it comes to service, for example, doing good, or any part of your life, there's never that, oh, we don't have time. There's always, it's up to you to make the time. That's my belief. It's up to you. You can make the time. You can even take 30 minutes out of your life in a whole week and say, I want to do something good, you know? So, yeah, I try and balance myself with doing my work Monday to Friday. And even though I'm doing my work Monday to Friday, in between every little minute or gap that I have, I'm trying to plan, okay, what's our next project? Who's on our list that we need to help? Do we have all the things for Saturday to cook? Have we raised enough money to do the cooking on Saturday, to serve the people? Are we short of anything? So it's like it's balancing is difficult, but I do it and I find the time to do it.
all right, let's get to your personal journey and insights. What personal values or life experiences have shaped the way you lead both in business and in community service?
So, so yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one. But like I said, I try my best. And that's all I can say is I try my best to, again, to balance. And yeah, and I just try my best. I just give it my all, and that's how I get through it.
All right. How do you balance your time and energy between running a business and leading an MPO?
Again, very difficult. Like I said,
Uh,
really, really difficult.
right.
I just, like I said, time escapes me. I find it so difficult. But again, like I said, I make the time. I find the time to
Okay.
balance my work, to balance my our humanitarian efforts, and there's never enough time. And the way time is today, time is flying. Before you know it, the year's over again. It's just, I feel as though the year just started and now the year's over. So, but yeah, like I said, it's up to us. We need to find the time and do what we need to do. And I find the time. Sometimes I sacrifice my work and I to do the good that we do. Yeah.
All right, my final question to you, and then there is one comment question here for you. So I'll just ask you. My final question is, looking ahead, what legacy do you hope to leave, both as a community leader and as an entrepreneur?
What legacy? um, all I can say is that the legacy that I would want to leave one day is a legacy that that some people should just take a leaf out of my book, and just do good and be good and serve. You know, we here to on this earth, and I believe it's to do good. To help each other, and that is the one legacy I would want. You don't. Even if you're earning an income, just take a little one, even a few rands out of it and help somebody, help an animal, or help. And I see so many people not wanting to do that. They earn fantastic salaries, but nobody sees to, like, it's okay, I'm secure, I'm fine, we okay. We don't need to worry about the next person because we okay. And that mentality, we just need to get out of that, and let's help. That's one legacy I'd like. Let's just do good for each other. Let's do good and be good and help each other grow, and help our brothers and sisters and help our animals. That's the one legacy I would want to leave. Yeah.
All right, let me just show you this question for you. This is from Jitin Rishika. Hi, Preyalan. You are strong and brave. Wishing you healing. Working closely with people. What are the common challenges do these people face?
So working with our communities, there's so many issues that they face. The fact that they don't even earn an income, just the fact that basic necessities such as, like example, we do in a sanitary drive pair, people can't even afford to buy a simple thing as a sanitary. It is, I don't even know if you can get those things free. I wish that like how they give all these other things free of charge. For example, pads that women need every single month without fail, that could be readily available. Even diapers. We see children suffering. People, even one of the centers we deal with, the lady actually told me, she says, we have to go back to the old style and use the towels, like the good old days, the old days. And if people, those are some of the challenges people face. One of the biggest challenges I noticed that, especially with the elderly, and it's sad to say, and I give due to those people that look after their parents, but there are so many old people out there, elderly people that are so in such dire straits. They've been left alone. Their children are earning fantastic salaries, but they don't look after their parents. They abandon their parents, they abandon their grandparents. You know, I know of a couple that they both their children are doing so well. They haven't seen their kids in over 2 years. They live in someone's outbuilding. We go and give food to them. We give parcels to them because they're living off government grants. Those are some of the challenges that we face. Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad. We try highlighting it. We try putting it out, through little sayings and about parents and grandparents. And I mean, they look after you, they fed you, they cleaned you, they did everything for you. And now today you just throw them away. You forget about them. Or once you get a wife or you get a husband, that's my life, my journey. I carry on, leave my parents behind. So yeah, those are some of the challenges we face, or they face, sorry.
All I got to say there. Thanks so much for your time, and I look forward to future chats with you.
Thank you so much. I hope I did well. I hope I never
I did.
overspoke, but
No, no, you were
yeah.
great.
But thanks for the opportunity. I wish you guys all the best, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.